I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
This is Snowman in the Morning, and it begins now.
I ask myself, is it worth it? I answer myself, yes, it is worth it.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello, baby.
Did you not get the memo?
Are you kidding me?
And here we go.
Here we are, 8 a.m. You're still in line at Walmart. From 5 a.m. when you've been waiting in line all night for that 52-inch TV for $100 off that you know you're never going to watch. So here you are, listening to some good stuff.
Well, that's how we get this started. It's Friday! It's Black Friday, according to a lot of people. I would say it's Sleeping Friday, but I got woken up. She woke me up and said, "Hey! You got a show to do!" So I'm doing it. Snowman in the Morning, brought to you in part by Cleaver Supplements, as they have presented our programming all year long. We're also live on the 3 and Out Radio Network as well as Radio AFS, where you can hear our replay, check out our podcast, become a subscriber for only $1 a month, and check out our YouTube page as well. The ID you need to find us on social media is at SIT Morning. Did you eat enough yesterday? Huh? Did you? Me neither. No, I'm kidding. No, the food was delicious. Especially the second meal I had when we came home, because I helped Sarah cook it. In fact, she kind of told me, "Look, if you don't want to starve until Monday, you'll help me with this food." I'm kidding as I say that. But we had a great Thanksgiving. Austin's doing great. His leg's healing fine, and he gets to start taking steps and going back to walking on Saturday. Now, are we going to hold his hands? Yeah, probably. You know, you never know. You never know. Hey, guess what? You know those college football picks that we spoke about? Well, you're going to hear them again today. You're going to hear my picks for the NFL this Sunday. And just want to tell y'all, we got some great stuff in the works, especially come the spring, because there will possibly be a name added to this. Got a whole lot more to tell you. But let me open with this. If you had a great time on Thanksgiving, that's great. If you didn't, it's your fault, because if you're alive and you're kicking and you're breathing, you got a lot to be thankful for. Now, I got a message from my rant on Wednesday saying I shouldn't put the people out there that I put out there. Well, guess what? I'm still putting their ass out there, because somebody needs to tell the truth on these punk fools, and I'm going to be the one to do it. If I'm foolish enough to put it out there and I'm foolish enough to dream as big as I am, well, I guess I'm that fool. That's all I got. College picks and NFL picks, then we'll wrap up the show. Snowman in the Morning, back in a flash.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish, Dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Western Scrub Jay. I was taking my science class on a virtual reality bird watching expedition. All of a sudden, Charlie Kane shouts, "Arr! Arr!" He had spotted the elusive black swift, a bird rarely seen in the wild. For a brief moment, Charlie had not the eyes of a 9-year-old boy. He had the eyes of an eagle.
Teachers just have better work stories. Find out how creative teaching can be at teachdfw.org. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me. Get granular. Keep me in the pipeline. But nada. Nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
That's what? Are you kidding me? Need a little excitement?
You know what?
I think I got someone on the hotline that wants to talk some college football. Do I not?
Absolutely.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How are you, man?
I'm awake. I'm alive. Let's do this. It's time for Dietz's College Football Chat, and this is presented in part by Cleaver Supplements. Rang in while I was trying to finish up a segment, but he's ready to go, and we're ready to go. Let's do this thing. Now, let's start with the Baker Mayfield incident. What are your thoughts on this?
I've learned that I have a different take than mostly everybody in the country on this.
Oh, I'm gonna love this.
I'm a WWE fan. I love a good heel. And Baker Mayfield is a heel. He is the greatest heel that we have in sports right now. He loves that you hate him.
Yep.
He does things that make you hate him.
Yep.
And here's the kicker. We love watching him. And people love watching him.
Yes.
They love watching him do these things, and then they love to say, "Oh, I can't believe what he just did. I can't believe." And then they talk about it for 3 days about what he did.
If not longer.
And the story just keeps going and going. I mean, I just learned last night the Kansas players who refused to shake his hands, they were ripped of their captaincy by their team. And everybody, I mean, that's what started this whole thing. And
yep.
I got into it with some people about, oh, Baker Mayfield shouldn't do that. Kids are watching, blah, blah, blah. Baker Mayfield went to shake hands of the other team in front of little kids.
Mm-hmm.
They denied shaking his hand.
Yep.
And he was like, "All right, you want to treat me like that? I'm gonna do what I did." And then,
yep.
I mean, the crotch grab over the line for sports, and he's yelling some vulgar language.
But
I'd hate to say this. That happens. It just happened to be caught on camera.
It happens all the time. I have the exact same take that you do. If anyone is at fault for this incident, it's those Jayhawk players that would not shake Baker Mayfield's hand. They absolutely should have been stripped of their captaincy. I tell you what, this is the best way I can put it. You want to piss off a guy that's basically going to walk away with the Heisman and have him prove himself in your house? Do that. He did. Period. He did.
I love the people that have taken the moral high ground of, oh, this should cost him the Heisman Trophy. Are you kidding me? I've heard that take 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, how does this have anything to do? The guy went out and threw like 4 touchdown passes.
Yep.
And the funny part is when you watch the video without the audio,
mm-hmm.
you're like, he looks like a fool. Then you put the audio to it, and he's telling the Kansas fans, go cheer your basketball team. You guys can't play football. You guys don't play football. Like, everything he said was correct.
Yep, it sure was.
And it was absolutely great, and that's why I loved it. The only thing I would have loved more is if he didn't come out and apologize. If he came out and just said, "Yeah, they pissed me off, and look what I did to them," and owned it, then I would have championed him. Or I would have said, "Run that as your Heisman Trophy."
I'm still championing it.
Run that feat.
I'm still championing it because I'll say it again, and you said this earlier, and I'm going to completely agree. those Kansas players started all this by not being captains, by not being sportsmen, by not shaking Baker Mayfield's hand when he extended it. Like, oh, you're going to do that to me? Watch this. And he rang him up.
And then he's going to be suspended. He's going to not start the game, so he's going to miss the first handoff to Mark Anderson, and then then he'll come in and throw I hope he comes in first play and they just throw a bomb deep. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm hoping for that too.
Just comes in and throws it deep, and they get like a 50-yard touchdown.
And throws like a 75-yard touchdown. I hope that happens too. I really do. Oh man, Chris Dietz on the line, talking college football. It's Dietz's college football chat on this Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Now, I know you've heard these, but there are rumors, God help us, that Jim Harbaugh is going to return to the NFL, and I call hogwash on all of them.
I've heard those rumors. The biggest rumor I've heard is that he's going to go to the one I put most stock in is possibly Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got his guy Andrew Luck there.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I don't see why they would want to get Jim Harbaugh at this point. I mean, Jim Harbaugh has been pretty much a bust, in my opinion, in Michigan.
Yep. He hasn't proven anything. He hasn't proven a thing.
But he's a proven NFL commodity.
Yep.
You know, his days at the 49ers. So, in my opinion, it makes sense for him because he can't handle it. He can't handle the college. He can't handle the college football game. So why not run back to the NFL where you can have a little more, where you don't have to do as much of the recruiting, and you don't have to go against James Franklin, who loves to hit the recruit. You don't have to go against Urban Meyer, who stockpiles his teams and is probably going to run over Michigan again this year. You don't have to go against Wisconsin, who's got a stockpiled team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be a good move by Jim Harbaugh, but I don't think that would be a good job by Michigan. And Michigan would be all set. Michigan would be fine because they'd bring Les Miles in and they'd move on.
Yeah. So you think Les Miles would go to Ann Arbor?
He's a Michigan. He's a Bo Schembechler guy.
That explains it. That explains that.
That's why I think if the Michigan job were open and Les Miles still doesn't have a job secured, I think it would. I think he would be offered the job in a heartbeat, and he would take it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of liking where this is going. Now, I've also heard this, and I was don't ask me why this popped up, but I was listening to the Mike Valenti show out of Detroit, and there was something that popped up that said that Michigan is preparing to offer Jim Harbaugh, you ready for this, a lifetime contract. What?
Well, that doesn't mean I have no idea why they would ever want to do that. I mean, the guy's going to be at the end of this season. The guy is going to be 1-8 against his rivals,
mm-hmm.
and 1-8 against against Michigan State, Penn State,
and Ohio
State, and
Wisconsin. Yep.
Mm-hmm. What did you bring Jim Harbaugh there for? Brady Hoke could have done that.
Easy.
I mean, if you're going to offer him a lifetime contract, maybe that lifetime contract is like a way of saying, hey, we're going to secure this guy and not have to pay him a big payout later.
Right.
But what he's done right now, he hasn't done anything except take his team to Italy. So if that's what Michigan wants to do, if that's what Michigan wants to be known for, then I guess they can go ahead and do that. But
and the sad part is that's all he's done. Okay, you know what? I'll tell you one play that identifies the Jim Harbaugh era at the University of Michigan. There's a dropped punt that happened against Michigan State.
Yeah, that was three or four years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm. Actually, 2 years ago.
What?
It was 2 years ago. Now,
it was 3 games ago against Michigan State.
Right,
so
right.
You have to win this year's game. Last year's game was in East Lansing, and this year's game was in Ann Arbor.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was that game.
Right. But why? Why? That's the play I feel identifies the Jim Harbaugh era. That's the play.
I'm more privy to the 45 to whatever butt whooping they got from Ohio State last year. That pretty much sums up Jim Harbaugh for me.
We'll call it a tie. We'll call it a tie because
can't beat and this year is going to be even worse because Urban Meyer does not want to go out losing to Michigan. Urban Meyer wants to go into that championship game and show them that, hey, Wisconsin, you should be afraid of us. I think he's going to put a butt whooping. And Michigan has no quarterback.
You think they score 50?
Michigan is down to like their 5th string quarterback.
Yep.
I said this as a promo to my show. Call in my show and we'll get your name to Jim Harbaugh and he'll put you on the quarterback list because
I'm out of it.
2 guys injured. Their 3rd string guy is coming off a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So they're down to their 4th string. I mean, how many guys do you have that can play quarterback? Not many. He's probably going to pull a guy out of the front row if you have a jersey on and be like, all right, get him a helmet and fucking go.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad at Michigan Stadium. It's going to be bad. Then I'll leave you. I have this question. Does this game coming up Saturday, we're going to get to the breakdown of our games in just a moment. Does this game on Saturday in Ann Arbor signal the end of the Harbaugh era in Michigan?
I don't think Michigan would cut ties with him at this. I think it's all in Harbaugh's camp right now. If Harbaugh wants to leave for the Indianapolis job, because that's probably the only job that entices him in the NFL. I think it's up to Harbaugh whether he wants to leave. It's not a Michigan's going to fire him situation.
Right.
It's going to be a Michigan. If he comes back to Michigan and doesn't, I mean, if they're talking about giving him a lifetime contract, they're not going to fire him.
Right.
But I think he'll be on the hot seat next year, and he won't be getting all the press that he got coming into this year, which was, oh, Jim Harbaugh is great. I mean, we had a caller on my first show that said, me and my co-host asked the kid, why do you believe in Michigan? Because we didn't believe in Michigan at all. And the kid's answer was, we have Jim Harbaugh. And I would love to have that. I would love for that guy to call back to our show, but I'm pretty sure once I picked Ohio State to win the national championship, no one from Michigan listens to my show anymore.
And I agree with that pick. That's the bad part.
So I have to ride with that one, but but that was his answer. His answer was, we have Jim Harbaugh, and now I would really love for that kid to call back and say, what do you have now? If all you had was Jim Harbaugh, what do you have now?
You know what makes this even more funny? I wish Michigan would have faced Northwestern this year, especially now with Northwestern being on the roll that they're on.
I think a lot of people wanted to face Michigan. I said it at the beginning of the year. I had no idea why they were. This has been a running theme on my show. Again, the Fifth College Football Show. A running theme is preseason polls. The very first segment I said is preseason polls are good enough. The only thing they're good for is toilet paper.
That's it.
That's about it.
That's it.
And they were in the top. Michigan was in the top 10, and nobody on their team had played a snap.
Why? That's why I don't like preseason polls either, be it football, be it basketball, or whatever. I hate them. I absolutely abhor preseason polls because no one's proven anything. Because what if Michigan was in the top 10, okay? Well, shoot, let's go back to 2007. Michigan was in the top 10, and then Appalachian State showed up.
Yeah, that's one of the classic games, and that was the end of the Lloyd Carr. That was the beginning of the end of Lloyd Carr.
Yep, that was the beginning of the end of Lloyd Carr, and they haven't been the same since then.
The question is this season the beginning of the end of Jim Harbaugh? That's the big question.
That
and
was 3
I don't
years
know,
ago against
I don't
Michigan
know how
State.
That room feels.
That's 3 years. That's 3 years ago against Michigan State with that drop punt. Okay.
Because Michigan still, but despite all the down that you can give to Michigan, the one thing that they have is now they're talked about all the time.
Not with me, they're not.
So maybe Michigan is saying, "Hey, look, we're not winning, but we're still getting
press.
We're still getting all the pub because we have this coach."
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, my show doesn't talk about it, but the national media at large always talks Michigan. For only reason is they talk about Michigan is Jim Harbaugh.
That's it.
He's the only thing they got. He's the thing they got to cling to.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. All right, let's break. Here's the top 10, and this is the college football top 10. We should do our own top 10 poll beginning next week, and that's especially coming true with championship weekend looming on the horizon. The CFP top 10 reads as follows. At 10 is Penn State. Ohio State's at 9. Notre Dame's at 8. Georgia's at 7. 6 is Auburn. 5 is Wisconsin. And here's your CFP top 4 from 4 to 1. Oklahoma, Clemson, Miami, and Alabama. Did they get the top 4 right this week?
I thought they did. I thought they finally nailed it, and the only thing I had is I had Oklahoma over Clemson. I could split hairs there, but I think they got it right.
I think they got it right, too. So, again, top 4, Alabama, Miami, Clemson, and Oklahoma, with Wisconsin on the outside, Auburn on the outside, as well as Georgia. Now, to the part where everybody loves to tune in, especially when I have Deets on, let's do some picks. And we'll start at the top of the pile with Miami at Pittsburgh. I smell trap game. What do you think?
I think it could be the interesting part of this game is that it's on Friday and not Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part of this game. I think Miami, this is going to be a tough game for Miami because Pitt doesn't turn the ball over.
And it's in Pittsburgh.
We all know Miami loves to rip that turnover chain out.
Oh, yeah. And it's in Pittsburgh.
I don't think Pitt has the horses to keep up with Miami. Miami will do a Miami thing. They will keep Pitt close until the fourth quarter,
and then blow them
that's
out.
what Miami does. If it's not a big game, they don't blow them out. It's not going to happen. They're going to keep Pitt close and then run away with it late. That's what I see happening.
So Chris says Miami. Old Snowman says Miami also. So we'll both take the turnover chain in Miami. This is the next one is one of the most interesting games of the weekend. The Bulls from South Florida against the Knights from Central Florida. Here's a bloodbath for you. You first.
This is the best game. This is the game of the week. Well,
there you go.
Besides the Iron Bowl. Besides the Iron Bowl, this is one of the best games of the weekend, and it will go uncovered because it will get washed over by all the playoff stuff.
I'm covering it. I'm covering it from afar.
Nobody will talk about this game except for us and probably my show later on.
Yep.
And that's probably the only people that are going to talk UCF. And I think UCF is going to show that they're the class of that division and the class of the what do they call them, the non-Power 5 or whatever. I think this is the game they make a statement, and I'm gonna ride with Scott Frost over Charlie Strong.
Okay, so I had a chance to see UCF in person when they played Cincinnati. Mackenzie Milton is for real. Y'all listen for this name next year. Mackenzie Milton out of Central Florida is for real. I love how this kid plays. I love how that offense just, once they get rolling, you don't stop them. I mean, hell, they hung 51 points on Cincinnati before Mother Nature decided to intervene and open the floodgates. And most of that was on the drive back here from Cincinnati. So Deet says Central Florida. I say Central Florida also. The Apple Cup in Seattle. The Cougars of Washington State and the Huskies of Washington. Cats and dogs. Chris, you first.
I picked this game early in the year. I picked Washington State to win. I knew this game was going to decide it. I picked Washington State at the beginning of the year. The road wars really worry me. I'm going to stick to my gun. I think Luke Falk is able to outplay, and I think Washington State is able to find a way to win this game because I really think Mike Leach will figure out how to get past Chris Peterson. So I'm going to take Washington State.
Well, Mike Leach is a little pissed off right now, but I don't know who to pick.
He's always
it's Falk versus Browning. You know what? I like the Road Warriors, and I will ride with Washington State. And I'm writing these down, folks. So we're both going with Washington State. West Virginia and Oklahoma. How bad does it get?
It all depends on Will Greer's injury, and I haven't seen anything that said Will Greer is not going to play. He got injured. I think he injured his hand last week. I haven't seen anything that says he's not going to play. But if he's not at top level, Oklahoma could absolutely rout West Virginia.
They're going to do that anyway.
And you're going to have I'm trying to say this without saying it, a ticked off Baker Mayfield when he comes on the field. He's already going to be ticked off. You know he's not going to do any of the antics. He's not going to. Well,
he'd probably do it. He'd probably do it just because he'd probably do it just because he's at home.
He's probably not going to do that because he doesn't want to make his coach cry again.
Yeah.
That's probably. He doesn't want to make his coach have to go to the podium and cry in front of the media again and do that whole display. So
yeah,
I think he'll be on his best behavior on the sidelines, but on the field, he is going to absolutely destroy this West Virginia team. And then the question is, can West Virginia put up enough? If Will Greer's not 100%, I don't think they can get to 30. I don't think they can get to 30 points. And Oklahoma's going to put up like 50, 55 points in this game. So I think it's going to be a blowout, and it's going to be a wild one, and I can't wait to watch it.
You know what? I correctly said when they played the Bedlam game that OU would put up 60. Guess what? They're going to do it again. I'm calling for OU to get 60 in this one. They're going to rout West Virginia. So we're both going with Oklahoma. Do I even have to do the next one since we already talked about it?
Yeah, I think we already beat that horse. I think we already beat that horse to enough. But just for the statement,
right.
Ohio State will beat Michigan
to a bloody pulp.
Will get ugly in the.
They're gonna beat them to a bloody pulp. All right,
it's gonna be ugly.
Oh my God, it's gonna be horrible. It's absolutely going to be horrible. Now, more Big Ten stuff. Wisconsin at Minnesota, and too bad this ain't at the Metrodome, but after sleeping on this last night, there's no way Minnesota can win this game. Not a chance. Not a chance.
No, this is where Wisconsin's got to make a statement going into the Big Ten championship, and I don't see any way that Minnesota. I don't see any way they could stop Taylor. Wisconsin's going to run over them. The question is how close does Minnesota keep the game, and I think Wisconsin just pounds them into the ground and just keeps running and runs that clock out and just says, all right, we're in the Big Ten championship. And that's our route to the playoff. So I don't see them sleeping on Minnesota.
You know what? I think Wisconsin runs for 400. I think Wisconsin runs for 400 in this game because there's no way that Minnesota's going to keep up with Wisconsin. Now, I don't know why you put this as the second to the last game, but the one that we have after that, I can kind of see why. The Iron Bowl, Alabama at Auburn. Take it.
Well, the only reason it's the second one is because when I was making this list, I was doing it pretty much by when the games popped up on my
understood
on my app that tells me all the games.
Right.
And it goes by time, so
right.
That's why this is second to last. This is the best game of the weekend. I think Alabama wins. I don't see a sleep. They're not going to be sleeping on Auburn. Nobody sleeps on the Iron Bowl. I mean, you have this is a game where the fans poison trees after the game. That's how big this game is. It's not like Georgia where they go in and it's not a big deal. This is the game for Alabama every year.
It is.
It doesn't matter if these two teams haven't won a game yet. If they're playing each other, it doesn't matter what's on the line. And with a championship on the line, I got Alabama. I think we're gonna see what Stidham, the quarterback for Auburn. I think you're gonna see him look exactly what he looked like in the Clemson game, running for his life.
A deer in headlights.
And that seems to be what they do against big defensive lines, and that's what Alabama has. That's how they stop them. I don't see any way that Alabama loses this football game.
I hate to do it, but I can't either. There's no way I can see Alabama losing this game. I just can't. I just can't. As bad as I want to call for Rob Bramlett to call another miracle of Jordan Hare, can't see it happening. Can't see that happening. And I'm getting breakfast right now. Thank you, dear. You look tired. Oh, you're not old, honey. You're not old, honey. All right, here's the last one on our list. Notre Dame at Stanford, at Stanford Stadium. Oh, boy. You first, Chris.
This is a match. If you like running backs, this is your matchup. And I'm gonna take Bryce. I'm gonna take Bryce Love. I think Stanford at the Farm is able to beat Notre Dame. Even though Notre Dame has a lot riding on this, I think Stanford loves that spoiler. They love to play that underdog card.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna take Love to have a bigger game than Josh Adams, and that's how Stanford pulls it out.
I think Bryce Love hangs 200 on Notre Dame's running game, and this is the end of the Notre Dame playoff talk. Unless they get their full offense going, because they look putrid in Miami. And you know what? 2 years ago, Stanford did the exact same thing to Notre Dame's playoff chances at the Farm with a game-winning field goal that propelled Stanford to the Pac-12 championship game. Well, who the hell am I kidding? I'm taking Stanford also. So we basically agree on all our picks. Although my heart of hearts would love to see Auburn upset Alabama, don't think it's happening. Dietz's College Football Chat every single Wednesday here on Snowman in the Morning with Chris Dietz. And Chris, thank you very much.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me. Get granular. Keep me in the pipeline. But nada. Nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Are you stuffed yet? Oh, no, you're not. Then you ain't done listening. So sit down and enjoy.
And here we go.
All right, let's get this thing going. Time for some Sunday picks. We begin with the early games, and we're going to race through these. Tampa Bay in Atlanta. Tampa Bay at 4-6, Atlanta 6-4. This is at the new stadium, and the Falcons have not performed well at all. You think they miss Kyle Shanahan? Well, they're going to miss him even more. I'm calling for the upset and picking Tampa Bay to win. Cleveland and Cincinnati. Do you even want to know how I feel about this? Cleveland's not going to win a game all year. Cincinnati will win at home. The Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. What the hell is wrong with this picture? Tennessee is 6-4? I hate to do it. I know it's my daughter's hometown, but I got to do it. They'll be 7-4. They'll beat Indianapolis. The Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs with Darrelle Revis playing cornerback for the Chiefs. And Tyrod Taylor getting the start for the Buffalo Bills at quarterback. That'll wake you up. Do I want to trust Kansas City at home? Yeah, I think I better. I'll call for the Chiefs to win. Couple more 1 o'clock games. Miami and New England. It's Tom Brady. Who cares? New England will win. Carolina Panthers 7-3 and the New York Jets 4-6. Do I want to trust Cam Newton right now on the road in New Jersey? Nope. I'm calling for the upset, saying I'll go ahead and say it. The Jets will beat Carolina, but it'll be close. Bears 3-7, Philadelphia 9-1. Really? You're just gonna give me this on a silver platter? Really? I can't do it. Philadelphia will win in a blowout. The Seattle Seahawks, as we start the late games, will go to Santa Clara and take on the San Francisco 49ers, who just picked up their first win 2 weeks ago before they went to the bye. They're going to beat the hell out of Seattle. I don't care how many people think Russell Wilson is a great quarterback. He's overrated, and he's going to get his ass kicked by that young defense. I'm calling for the upset. San Francisco will beat Seattle. New Orleans and the Rams, I got to go with Cool Hand Breeze. I'll trust Drew Brees before I trust Jason Goff. I'm sorry. Experience rules in this case. New Orleans will win. Another 425 game, 2 of them to be exact. Jacksonville 7-3 leading the AFC South. What the hell did I just spit out there? Going to Arizona and playing the Cardinals at 4-6 in the desert. That 7 for Jacksonville will turn into an 8. They will beat Arizona. The Denver Broncos will take on the Oakland Raiders in Oakland. Oakland's 4-6. I'll trust them at home. They'll be 5-6 after this. I'm calling for the Raiders to win. The Sunday night game features the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is 8-2. They'll be 9-2 after this game. I'm sorry, no Aaron Rodgers, no Green Bay. And the last game of the week, which is a game that sucks. I'm sorry, just looking at the matchup, it absolutely sucks. The Houston Texans at 4-6 and the Baltimore Ravens at 5-5. Do I actually have to care about this game? Yeah, because I have to make a pick. Well, I'm going with the home team, and I'm going with Baltimore. Hey, guess what? Those are the picks. I got a good word for you when we come back.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me. Get granular. Keep me in the pipeline. But nada. Nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Coming soon, the new wave of hydration and energy drink HIQ. This new product is all natural with no caffeine and gives you a major boost of hydration and energy. No twitching effect or crashing like the old energy drinks. You can visit our website at www.liquidhiq.com or Twitter at HiQ2015 to learn more about this amazing energy drink. What is your level?
Live your life and just let go. If you try, then you will know.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
That's what? Are you kidding me? Need a little excitement?
You know what? That makes me mad.
Well, it's time to close this week out. I'll be back on Monday to review what happened in football. I'll review what happened in basketball. Got some guests for you coming up. Ted Hicks will join me beginning next week. And next week, who knows? We may be live on location. I'll let you know with everything going on with that. I just want to say to my little one, Austin, I love you. Keep healing. And I know you're going to be walking and running soon, but be careful, will you? So you know what's going to happen when he hears this. He's going to try to tackle me. Of course he is. He's a 6-year-old kid. But as I said yesterday, be good to the ones that are good to you. That's how I'm going to close. Just be good to the ones that are good to you, and as long as that love keeps circulating around, it'll eliminate all the rest of the hate that people love to keep bringing up. The negative attitude makes a negative life. I've had to learn that the hard way, and in some ways I'm continuing to learn it, dealing with some of the people I'm dealing with. Don't make the choice to have a negative life. Make the choice to have a happy life. And if anyone's trying to be negative in yours, Kick him the hell out. Tell him, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. I won't be back till Monday. Gotta get out of here. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday, and remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. Snowman in the Morning brought to you by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. Got a Friday to do. I'm out of here. Snowman out.